Welcome to another episode in the Onfleet Partnership Series. We're here on Earth Day 2021 with Onfleet CEO and co-founder Khaled Naeem, who's here to talk about Onfleet Offset, an exciting initiative that was announced today in partnership with Pachama. We also have Pachama CEO and co-founder Diego Saez Gil joining us today as well. Welcome and happy Earth Day. So tell us, what is Onfleet Offset?
Happy Earth Day to you too, Adeline. So I'll start with what Onfleet is in case we have any listeners who aren't familiar. Onfleet is a software platform that helps companies launch and scale delivery operations. Our mission at Onfleet is to make it easy for every retailer to offer fast, affordable, and delightful delivery to their customers. So we handle everything from route planning and optimization, dispatching, to tracking, analytics, and communications. So, Onfleet enables thousands of businesses around the world to manage millions of deliveries every month across industries ranging from grocery and cannabis to pharmacy and restaurant. And so, our software helps these businesses improve their efficiency. So inherently, we're sort of helping curb emissions in a sense through improved route efficiency and reduction in idle time and optimized dispatching. But with Onfleet Offset, we're taking things a step further. This is a new program that we're announcing today and launching on May 1st, which will allow all of our customers to offset the emissions of their delivery operations with the click of a button. We will automatically calculate the CO2 emissions for every delivery and offset them with carbon credits purchased through Pachama, our partner. And the money goes towards verified forestry projects that will help restore nature and build a more sustainable future. And Onfleet actually splits the cost of the credits with our customers 50-50.
So how did you end up selecting Pachama as your sustainability partner?
Yeah, so we did a lot of research on potential partners for this program. And from the very first time we connected with Pachama, we were super impressed. We found the team to really know what they were talking about. They were really excited to work closely with us to make this program come to life. And they had a clear focus and a unique angle that incorporated technology while emphasizing restoration of nature, which not only makes sense from an efficiency perspective, but is also something that I care deeply about on a personal level. I started scuba diving when I was 14 years old, and I've been incredibly fortunate to have experienced some of the most amazing corners of the natural world growing up, from the Great Barrier Reef to the Amazon, the Masai Mara, the glaciers in Alaska. So I've seen every David Attenborough documentary, and my wife can attest to that. And over the past several years, I've grown increasingly concerned about, what we're doing to our planet and the real danger it's in. But I remain optimistic, and it's incredibly exciting that we're in a position at Onfleet to be able to implement a program like this with Pachama support that can, I think, truly have a positive impact.
Thank you so much, and happy Earth Day to the two of you guys too. Yes, I'm the founder of Pachama, a technology company with a mission of restoring nature to solve climate change. Similar to Khaled, I grew up surrounded by nature in Argentina, very inspired by the power that forests and other ecosystems have to sequester carbon and heal our planet. So after building two other technology companies in the past, I decided that I wanted to focus on this problem. And basically what we learned was that even though nature is one of the most important solutions that we have to climate change, it was not receiving as much funding because it was difficult to trust forest carbon credits. Imagine you're a company in the US, you want to compensate your carbon footprint, you want to support reforestation projects in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil or in Colombia or in other corner of the world. Well, you have to, just trust sending money to a project developer on the ground. And it's been difficult in the past to develop that trust. So we came along with the idea that today we have satellite images that are monitoring the Earth on a daily basis. And we have artificial intelligence algorithms that can analyze images at scale. And why we're not using these technologies to bring that transparency and the trust that is needed in this market. So we built a team combining artificial intelligence engineers with forest scientists and with experts from carbon markets to do just that, develop a platform that could verify how much carbon is a reforestation or forest conservation project effectively sequestering from the atmosphere, and be able to monitor that as the project continues to evolve, and then be able to connect those responsible companies that want to invest on those projects with the people on the ground that are doing the really important work of protecting and restoring those forests. So in a way, we are almost like a marketplace platform that connects these two parties, but in between brings the trust that can be provided by these remote sensing techniques. And yes, super excited to partner with Onfleet.
So can you step back for a moment and kind of, for listeners that might not necessarily be totally familiar, kind of explain exactly how carbon offsets work and maybe like also why, it would be of particular interest to businesses?
For sure. So as as humanity and civilization moves to solve climate change, corporations are starting to establish the goal of becoming carbon neutral or net zero. That means that these companies need to measure their carbon footprint, reduce as much as they can, and then compensate the emissions that they cannot immediately reduce by supporting projects that effectively remove CO2 from the atmosphere or avoid emissions somewhere else. And in order to do that, the United Nations proposed the idea of carbon credits or carbon markets, sometimes also called carbon offsets. So these carbon credits are certificates that are given to projects that are doing just that. So for example, a reforestation project that is planting trees in the US or in Brazil or in Canada can receive carbon credits equivalent to the amount of CO2 that these projects are removing from the atmosphere. And then, a company in the other side can calculate their carbon footprint and then buy carbon credit certificates for the equivalent amount, and then be able to claim that their operations are carbon neutral or net zero. Now, this market until recently was very complicated to understand, not very transparent, and this is what we're trying to bring to this market: a little bit more clarity, a little bit more transparency, and a little bit more efficiency by the use of the technologies that I mentioned before.
I'd be curious to hear why you're excited, particularly about working with a company like Onfleet.
So, we are a technology company. We love partnering with other technology and e-commerce companies. For example, we're working as well with Shopify. We're working as well with Amazon. We're working as well with Microsoft. And in the case of Onfleet, we love that Onfleet is a platform that powers a lot of other businesses. Many of these medium to small size businesses might not have a sustainability team that can go and do the due diligence that Onfleet did on us. And, by partnering with Onfleet, we are in a way multiplying our impact to the entire platform of businesses that use Onfleet services. So quite excited about that. And I also, found that we share the ethos of technology, innovation, and love for nature as well with the Onfleet team. So quite excited about that.
And just to follow up to Diego's comments there, I think platforms have a very important role to play here with climate change because we're, as you mentioned, we're able to reach millions of end consumers through thousands of businesses that we touch, that we power. So there's a high degree of leverage.
Yeah.
And, while some of our customers have sustainability at the top of their agenda, folks like Imperfect Foods, who recently announced their commitment to net zero emissions by 2030, it's not always top of mind, especially for smaller businesses. And so just by making it simpler and making it, as easy as just clicking a button in their dashboard and the tool that they're using every day, and by handling the complexities on the back end, and by splitting the cost of the carbon credits themselves with our customers, I think we can really move the needle with a program like Onfleet Offset.
Have you selected the forestry projects you guys are going to be working on?
We have. Yeah, we'll be starting with 3 projects. The first is the Brazil nut concessions in Peru, which prevents deforestation and protects the biodiversity on about 500,000 acres in the Peruvian Amazon. The second project in our initial portfolio is the Kootznoowoo project in Alaska, which protects old growth forests, which are not only essential habitat for deer, bears, moose, foxes, and many other species, but actually sequester significantly more carbon than the surrounding areas. And it was actually an area that was previously heavily harvested for overseas exports. And then the third project is the BCBM project in Colombia, which is a habitat to incredible biodiversity, hundreds of species of birds, mammals, amphibians, and reptiles, and over 5,000 plant species will be protected with that project. So we're super excited to focus on these three projects to start and look forward to adding other projects in the future.
So it sounds like the sustainability partnership is matched by the technology focus. What does Pachama have in mind as we move forward and open up the world?
Yes. So one avenue of technology innovation that we are exploring with Onfleet is we are developing an API, which is basically a programming interface so that two technology platforms can talk to each other automatically. And, that could make it very scalable for, Onfleet and partners in the future to purchase carbon credits, look at the history of all these purchases, look at the reporting coming from these purchases. And the intention here is, scaling up this impact and making sure that we do it with transparency and integrity. We also continue incorporating new sources of data. For example, we are starting to play around with laser data that is coming from the International Space Station in a mission called JEDI by NASA. And that data will give us the heights of the trees worldwide. And, with more data, we can come up with more insights about these forest projects and continue expanding to more and more forest projects in different regions. So we have a very ambitious technology roadmap ahead and just growing our team and working hard to accomplish those goals.
Well, it sounds like this combination of, like a passion for a sustainable future and also harnessing the power of technology to make that a reality will result in a really effective partnership.
Thanks. Yeah, I certainly think so. And, the initial response from our customers has been overwhelmingly positive. This immense challenge is something individuals and businesses want to help with. It's just such an intractable problem that it's important to kind of break it down into actionable steps that can be taken by anyone. And, that's what we're aiming to do with Onfleet Offset. And Pachama has been really critical in enabling us to launch it so quickly. So I'm optimistic about the future. And as Onfleet grows over the coming years, I look forward to expanding our sustainability program and our partnership with Pachama even further.
Thank you guys so much for joining me for what's been a fantastic Earth Day conversation. For more information about Onfleet Offset and Pachama, you can visit onfleet.com/offset. Diego, Khalid, thank you both so much for your time. And to the listeners out there, happy Earth Day.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Edlin.